Good afternoon, YouTubers. It's Midwest Phil again, and I'm here with a couple of tips for the Old Town PDL 120. This tip has to do with what I call ramp rash. How to avoid getting excessive ramp rash when you're loading these kayaks. Here in the Midwest, we don't have too many options for getting the kayak in the water. Most of the shorelines are covered with riprap, or they're covered with heavy brush or trees, so you almost have to use the concrete ramps. So I came up with a way to minimize the amount of ramp rash that I was getting, and I'm going to show you how I did that. Also, I made some changes to the seat risers that I want to show you about, and I want to tell you a little something about Garmin while we're at it. So I'm just going to turn the camera around and show you what we did, and I've got a couple of short clips that we spliced in here that'll show you how it actually works and how easy it is to avoid some pretty serious ramp rash. So here we go. First of all, let's talk about the seat risers. I went from a 2-inch seat riser to a 3-inch seat riser, and the reason was because even with a little bit more inclination here, I was having some problems getting out of this seat, especially when I was tired after I'd been fishing for 3 hours and I wanted to get out of the seat at the boat ramp. But also what I want to tell you is people that fish for bass, when you're casting, if this seat is too far back and if you're reaching too far forward, you can slide forward in this seat. And if you slide forward in the seat, you're going to find out that your bottom is moving this way and this way, and then you end up scooting back. So if you raise it up to 3 inches, I think it's going to make that a lot better. And also, if you buy any of these seat risers from a couple of the companies that are online, if you would have gotten the 2-inch ones, I think you would have regretted it and wished that you had gotten the 3-inch ones. So this is just simply a 2x4 on a metal frame. That's an aluminum frame. It's covered with the soft material, and the bottom of that is covered with the soft material. And then it's all painted black, and there's a couple screws that hold the block to the aluminum frame. And it works really good, no problem whatsoever. And as you'll see in the video, here's what it looks like from the back, and the whole thing is just held on with a couple ties, couple wire ties. You could actually put 2 of them on there if you wanted, but I've got one here. You could add another one here for a total of 3. But I've never had them break so far, and I've had it out probably 10 times so far, and I'm not easy on it. Okay, so that takes care of the seat risers. The other thing that I wanted to show you to help you avoid ramp rash is this right here. That is just simply packing material. This black piece right here. It came with a large electronic piece of equipment, and I saved that. This is just a piece of insulation that I got at Home Depot, and you're going to see how I use that in the video to not completely eliminate road rash or ramp rash, but to really get it down to where it's manageable. The rash we're talking about is right here. When this kayak is pulled out of this short bed truck, when you walk back to scoot it out more, this will flip over, and it'll roll over right or roll over left, and you'll get some pretty deep rash here and some pretty deep rash here. When this is sitting on the concrete, you'll get rash here, and if you try to move that into the water without it resting on something, you're going to tear it up pretty good. So what I did was I taped these areas off, sanded them, covered it with a little JB weld. Then I went back and I got some moldable JB weld, and I covered this. And remember, I have this all taped off, so I'm not excessively applying it. And then after I got that, the moldable is white, and it's just like Play-Doh or putty, so you can mold it. Originally, this came back to here, right about here, and went up. And when this was on the ramp, you could actually ding this up back here, right where it terminated. So I added this little bit here, and you can see it's been taking the wear. I had applied a shell of JB weld after I was done there and there and over there, and you can see that it wiped off some of that JB weld, so it's doing its job. I have a less rash here, and this is a sacrificial keel guard right here, which you can get from Old Town and replace that if you need to. But I've got, this time I had almost no damage whatsoever when I did it this way. So that's the tip of the day. First thing you do is you grab your launch pad that you're going to lay underneath here after you pull this out. So you just set it up here for now. Pull your kayak out. Make sure you got it out far enough. Lay your launch pad down and set the kayak on it. When it rolls over, it'll roll over onto the soft pad. Once you have it in this position, you can just lift up on the front and slide your kayak down the ramp into the water. You shouldn't be that far away from the water's edge. When you get about this much of the kayak in the water, this will float. These 3-inch seat risers make this almost level, and you're going to need that to get out of that seat easily, especially when you're at the dock trying to get up on the dock, or when you're at the shoreline trying to get on the shoreline. But I did have 2-inch risers on here, and I found out that it wasn't going to be quite enough. But this is just a block of 2x4, and it's attached to a aluminum metal frame, painted black, and it has a piece of soft material here and around here to keep from scratching the kayak. And the material was just gooped on to the frame and to the wood. Nut to release the PDL drive, pull it up, and turn it on, whereas you can if it's sloped back. And then exit it real easy. So as you can see, if you have it tilted forward enough, you can get in and out of that seat pretty easily. And you're also going to need to be able to reach things from that seat. So you need to have that tilted forward. Okay, so that's a couple of tips for you that's going to help. And it should save you a little bit of time and effort. You won't have to be making some of these minor repairs. But the other thing I wanted to just show you real quickly was I've got a Garmin on here. I've got a 73 SV. It's a touchscreen Garmin. And with the Garmin, you can do sonar recording and you can take screenshots, things like that. And they have a program called Homeport. Well, on Homeport, you insert the SD card that you had recorded on in the Garmin unit. You put that into your PC, and that'll come up as F drive. And then you're able to view your sonar recordings and whatever else that you have on that SD card. The problem everybody's been having is they want to save that to Homeport, but because it is a hidden file, which is what they don't tell you, from what I've seen online, nobody can figure out how to do it. Well, I've had a couple of these Garmin's, and I know that I was able to save it to Homeport. I couldn't remember why until I started playing around there. I did look online and look for some solutions, but the solution is pretty simple. And the solution is this. When you take that SD card out of there, you slide it into your PC, it'll automatically load into Homeport, and you'll see, let's say you have only one sonar recording, and it'll come up as sonar recording 000. Okay, you click on that and it'll drop it down so that you can right click on that and you can then play that sonar recording. Everybody understands how that works. But in order for you to save that, all you have to do is left click on that sonar recording, drag it up into My Collections, release it. It'll give you a short message saying that it's a large file. It may take a second or two to copy that. Then it'll copy it into My Collections. You won't have to do anything else. Then you'll have it in My Collections. You can take your SD card, you can reformat it, and you've got your sonar recording. And then you can rename it. Like, you can rename it the name of your lake, so you can have My Lake on there. And then you go down to, when you click on it, it'll drop it down. If it still says sonar 000, just rename it to My Lake. And you can save all your sonar recordings like that, and you don't have to keep them on your SD card. And I haven't gone on any of the blogs. I've seen this conversation come up in the blogs. I haven't signed up or logged into any of those blogs, but I'm just going to spread this around on this video, and you guys can try it out if you've got these Garmin's, and you're going to find out it's going to save you a lot of looking around. So in my links, I'll put Garmin in my links, and I might put it in the title too, so that people will be able to search and possibly find this. So there you are, YouTubers. This is Midwest Phil, and I'm signing off. Bye-bye.